Hello, everybody. I'm Glenn Kennedy. This is my co-host Mario Sobalvarro. Today, we'd like to do a little bit of talking about the name Belinda. So, for years, I always wondered where that name came from. We have Belinda Avenue, we have the Belinda Corridor, and so did some research, and for a long time, um, and I would say this is in the days before computers. It was almost impossible to find anything, but now with the age of technology, we're allowed to find a lot of things now. So, Mario, why don't you tell us where the name originated from and what it means?
Sure. So Valinda was a name coined by the Amar family. They incorporated it, they created a corporation, Valinda Corp, and also with that, we're doing suburban development, such as the Valinda villages. But Valinda is pretty much just a shortening of Via Linda, which translates from Spanish to beautiful valley. And a little bit more in the Amar family. That's kind of more your area.
Well, what I do know, I know Augie Amar was the founder. He originally came here, I think, around 1880. He bought, I think, 1,800 acres of property.
Sheep herder for me.
He was a sheep herder. He got married. Um, had five kids. Two of them didn't make it out of childhood. Uh, and his daughter, um, she married a guy named Abel Guinier. I think that's how you pronounce it. Is that how
Yeah,
you pronounce it?
Garnier. Yeah.
Guinier. And and one day he was drilling for a well, and he hit a gusher. So he hit um, more water than he needed, and he supplied most of the local farmers because water. If you didn't have water, you didn't have any crops. What
That's
do you
right.
know about that, Mario?
So I know it was early 20s, and yeah, Abel Garnier. Uh, they hit a aquifer or something of that sort, able to just get a lot of water, and they formed a company called the Southwest Water Company. And being that they had so much, water that they could handle, I believe the son later formed a company called the San Jose Water Company. I think it was in the 40s, and then later in the 50s, a lot of these water companies consolidated to form what is Suburban Water Company, and a year later, so that was 53, 54. uh, Suburban Water Company was incorporated into Southwest Water Company, with Suburban being a subsidiary of it. So Southwest is, I guess, the large parent company on that. But we all know Suburban Water Company. Man, I use Suburban Water
Yeah.
Company. That's what I pay.
So that was very interesting. So also at one time during the after World War II, during the late 40s, people wanted to change the name of West Covina. We had a bad reputation. From Bob Hope gave us this reputation of a speed trap. We're called the speed trap in an orange grove, and that's what West Covina did. It had little income, so all their money was made from writing speed tickets. So had a bad name. So they decided they were going to change the name. I guess some residents got together and got enough signatures. So it went through the process through City Hall, blah, blah, blah. And one of the names was going to be Belinda. I know they wanted to change it to Belinda, but the Guinier family blocked it because they had the Belinda Corporation, the Belinda Village, and
Right.
they had already coined the phrase. And they didn't want to be associated with West Covina because they already thought it had a bad reputation.
Yeah, if they hadn't blocked it, it might have turned into Valinda. Never know.
Yeah.
They had what, Glenwood, Tierra Linda, Fleetwood were some other names that were being thrown around. But this was a big deal back in '48. This is all post-war, and West Covina was uh, being marketed as just kind of like this suburban paradise. Lots of suburban development going on. Chamber of Commerce got behind this. a fellow by the name of Edwin Job, which was a big time, I think, Covina Orange Grove, but also I think had interest in West Covina area.
But
Also led the effort.
he had Valencia water.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, he had Valencia water.
Okay. So yeah, they were all pushing from a marketing perspective. There were different things. There was still sourness, from the Covina, West Covina incorporating in 23 because of the Covina sewage farm ordeal, and 48 was the 25th anniversary of the city. So you had some people that just wanted to disassociate from Covina, by all means, that were looking, pushing forward for the name change, and then you had those that were looking to develop the city and trying to find a nicer name or a more, inviting name for the city, such as Valinda, to draw more people out here to all the suburban development that was occurring.
Yeah, they end up going with just a side note. They end up going with Fleetwood. It was Fleetwood and West Covina, and West Covina won out, and it wasn't by much. Remember, there was not a lot of residents, but the ordinance never passed,
Right.
so we're still West Covina. And they also, you got to throw in there. They also the World War II had just ended, and all the vets were moving out to California, and so all this area was all the farming land was starting to disappear, and it's all become housing. So with that, we'd like to say thank you. It's a short version of it. We're going to do another one that's going to be a longer version. Okay? I appreciate your help, Mario.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and have a nice day.